What's up, everyone? It's Nick here. We're back with another Friday furnishing vendor review and golden vendor review in Cyrodiil. So we are here in Craglorns. A lot of people go to Cold Harbor, but I like here coming to Belcarth. Up by the festival grounds, you got the furnishing vendor. Like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitch at Leroy Jenkins OF. Yes, OF is for the OnlyFans. Gotta represent. And then Twitch or YouTube is ESO with Leroy. Let's dive into this, and that was the worst intro ever. But we're just gonna send it. So who cares? Alright, bunch of Dark Elf stuff. So we had velothi stuff last week, so we're gonna have more. This is actually pretty cool. So these items will probably sell pretty well. All of these actually. So this burial urn's pretty cool. What's funny in the Forgotten Waste dungeon, where you can farm velothi items outside of the safe boxes in Vardenfell. These are all over the place, and somehow these don't actually count as urns, even though the game lists them as an urn. So, riddle me that. All right, we got this podium of recitation. The thing's pretty cool. I think I have one somewhere in my house. 35k, not a bad price at all. Kneeler for prayer. I mean, not the biggest fan, but people. I guess there's a market for velothi items, mainly because they're rare. This altar is pretty awesome. Not really sure what you can put in it, but I do like that. F4K, not bad. You got the velothi sacrificial altar, so I'm not sure how big this is, but this make a nice little statuette or shrine stand. And then we got some Necrom stuff. It's like another white urn, very similar to the velothi one, just Necromy and newer, not ancient, maybe newer. This one's pretty cool. Kind of like the colors of it. It is small, but at 12k, pretty vibrant. The mummies, not the biggest fan, though. If you are doing a spooky themed or some kind of Daedric torture vampire, Ursine, Mira, whatever themed house, this could fit into that. Let's see, Dark Elf urn, same as the other two, just different colors. You got a broken Dark Elf tomb marker. And then the ever classic Dark Elf Ash Garden Emilial. I want to say that there's a furnishing plan for this one, but I could be wrong. Overall, not a bad week. If you like urns, a whole bunch of them. I, for some reason, really like this Blue Elegant one. And then, Velothi Altar, the podium, and then the bigger urn, I think, are going to be pretty nice. But overall, not a bad week. So, let's go to not Imperial City. Let's go to Cyrodiil and check out what we got there. Alright, so pretty interesting day today. Actually had a good amount of people chatting in the chat today, which was kind of cool. Normally I'm just streaming to my friends. So, pretty awesome. Got a little bit of viewership on the Twitch. Alright, let's go down here and check this stuff out. Go see our boy over here, whose name I can't pronounce very well. But I spent the day, redid my Necro for a Infinite Archive build. A lot of fun. Still working out the kinks, but alright. Starting off hard with the Necropotence. This used to be a really good, in the olden days, from what I understand. Granted, I'm a newer player. I've been playing about 5 years now. It used to be a good Sork set. Bunch of lines of Magicka and a lot more Magicka when you have a pet active. So this could actually also work on a warden. It's not the best. I mean, if you're stacking magicka, it's not too bad. But there's no sustain, nothing really else in it. I mean, it's a mediocre set. It's just gonna. What is that? 6,400 magicka. I mean, nothing to sneeze at, but really only works on your warden if you're using bear, or sork if you're doing a pet sork. So, necklace of the ranger. All right. Stamina recover, crit chance, damn recovery. Reduces the effectiveness of snares applied to you by 50%. In theory, on paper, this sounds good. A lot of the other stuff going on with it is actually not bad at all. Bunch of recovery in there, some crit chance, and a line of stam. Reducing the effectiveness of snares applied to you by 50%. Not really seeing much to it. Alright, so we got the Armor of the Truth set. So we got a line of crit chance, stam, weapon, and spell damage. Then, when you deal damage to an enemy who's off balance, weapon and spell damage is increased by 460 by 10 seconds. 460 is nice, but the off balance condition, you could get a lot of value out of this at times. This might be something of a niche setup. There is no cooldown on it, which is pretty cool, but needing off balance to be procced when you can get 460 weapon and spell damage from something like Clever Alchemist for popping a potion, whatever Clever Alchemist gives you. Not seeing it. Now, this is Stamina versus Clever Alchemist, if I remember correctly, is a Magicka set, but there's plenty of other sets that are going to give you comparable weapon and spell damage with a lot less stipulations to it. Alright, now it's a healer day. SPC, Spell Power Cure, White Gold Tower, or Imperial City, I can't remember. It comes from one of those two. But this is a staple of 4 healers. So you get a line of magicka, weapon and spell damage. Kind of useless, but as a healer, if you want to contribute a good bit. And that weapon and spell damage, I'm not a healer, never had a healer. Don't understand how healing works, but I would assume your weapon and spell damage equates to your healing value. So bumping that up is never going to be a bad thing. Alright, so when you overheal yourself or an ally, you give minor courage, or major courage to the group for 5 seconds, and there's no cooldown on this. So this is just a absolute staple set for healers. I don't think anything's changed since this set came out. It is top to bottom as a healer. I mean, it's a 10 out of 10 set. So I don't even know where this comes from. Nazare. Line of health, and when you use an ultimate, the closest 6 enemies within 12 meters have all major and minor debuffs applied to them extended by 1 second per 20 ultimates spent. This effect can occur every 30 seconds. I'm not seeing it. It sounds really good. You save up a full alt, that's what, 20 extra seconds, 23, 4-ish seconds of major and minor debuffs, but maybe for solo play, but sets like Heartland Conqueror exists, so I don't see the value in that. All right, then we got Stone Husk. A lot to unpack here. So line of crit chance. Now this is not slime crawl level, so this is not something to pick up to 1 piece. And this comes from Stone Garden, or I believe. So something that is not easy to farm, unlike Wayrest 1, which you can most people can solo on Legendary. So heavy attacks tether enemies to you for 5 seconds, as long as you remain within 10 meters. Enemies touching the tether take physical damage every 1 second. You gain a stack of flesh. Up to 15 stacks. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. Alright. So, tether for 5 seconds, as long as you. So I wonder how this will work with a lightning staff. I'm kind of curious. That's pretty interesting because it doesn't seem like there's a stipulation on how many tethers you can have out. When the tether ends, consume the stacks and gain. Okay, yeah, I don't. This in theory would sounds pretty cool. Trying to think of some utilizations because 10 meters is not a short distance. It's also not a far distance. So PvE, by the time you build up 15 stacks, you're probably going to have all those ads falling over. For this to be viable in a boss fight, unless you're talking, I mean, there is a couple trials maybe where you have multiple things that you're worried about with high health. This could be viable. I'm just not seeing it. 5 seconds isn't a lot for a lot of build up just to get 28 per stack to a maximum of 15 stacks, which, I mean, not a small amount, but also not the best. So, all right. Yeah. Overall, I mean, Necropotence. It's a. If you want a lot of magicka and you run a pet build, not a bad set. If you're ever thinking about making a healer, like just thinking about it, pick up spell power cures, stick it in your bank. I know I have like a ring or two in there, so I gotta check and see if I have the necklace. And if I don't have the necklace, I'll probably end up buying this and throwing it in there. These, not a big fan of the Stone Husk and then the Nazare. Yeah, that's been your weekly review. It's been your boy Nick, and we'll see you guys next week for our reviews. And stay tuned. I might be doing a couple more build videos. Dropped one last night. I haven't really checked to see how much traction it got, but see ya.